You know, Warren Buffett once said, speculation is most dangerous when it looks the easiest. And in all honesty, this is a great quote that we can apply to the trading card market at present time. It doesn't matter if we're talking about high-end sports cards, Pokemon cards, even vintage obscure trading cards like the 1977 Top Series 1 Star Wars cards. I don't know if you recall, I did a video on this. Several of those cards in PSA 10 condition were seen selling through heritage auctions for hundreds of thousands of dollars a piece. That's how insane this market has become. Now, obviously, the most popular, the most hottest category of the antiques and collectibles trade at present time is, of course, the market for trading cards. So without further ado, today I'm going to be giving my thoughts on the world record-breaking $16.4 million sale of the 1998 Pokemon Illustrator card that was graded by PSA in PSA 10 condition and formerly owned by Logan Paul. Now, before we get there, though, we do have to talk about the trading card market by and large, because there is a lot of money flowing in this market at present time. More importantly, there is a lot of investment capital flowing into this market at present time. And I know a lot of the people that watch this channel, that's probably not going to be a surprise to some of you. I know if you're more of a collector in this market, that probably bothers you, because a lot of the money bros, a lot of the finance bros, they're coming in and they're making this market more unaffordable for you guys that just treasure these items and want to own and collect them. I'm sorry to tell you, this is a collectibles finance channel. So you can kind of see where I stand in that equation. That said, I do urge caution in this market at present time. Now, interestingly enough, one of the trends we're seeing in the overall antiques and collectibles trade is due to all this money that is flowing into the trading card market at present time. Certain once popular high-profile categories in the trade are being cannibalized at present time. And this is something that not a lot of other people that are in the antiques and collectibles trade are talking about. And I wish more attention was paid towards that fact, because what we're seeing is a lot of the money that was once flowing into vintage graded comic books, graded video games, even high-end Rolex watches and related luxury collectibles. A lot of that money is now exiting those markets and it's flowing into the trading card space. And along with this, we also have some high-profile, well-funded investors that are really taking advantage of this market at present time. Case in point, back in August of 2025, just a couple of months ago, you probably remember Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful himself. He paid what was then the highest price for any trading card in existence, $12.9 million, along with a group of investors, for the now infamous Michael Jordan / Kobe Bryant dual logo man basketball card. And Kevin O'Leary, being who he is, Mr. Wonderful, he wasted no time making appearances on CNBC and other news media outlets, telling everybody that him and this investment group were the buyers of this card. Now, this is where my problem with this Logan Paul sale starts. This particular sale has been hyped up now for several months, starting with the appearance this card, along with Logan Paul, made on the Netflix series King of Collectibles Season 3. Golden Auctions, along with even PSA, has done an excellent job hyping this card, hyping the fact that this is the only Pokemon Illustrator card in existence that is graded in PSA 10 condition. Whether it should be or shouldn't be is probably subject for another video. Wink, wink, if I ever get around to it. Now, with that being said, for those that don't know, the Pokemon Illustrator card, there's roughly 39 of them in existence. And out of the 39 out there, only one, this one, is graded PSA 10. There are 8 others, I think, if I recall correctly, that are graded in PSA 9 condition at present time. So this is considered to be the holy grail of Pokemon collectibles simply because this wasn't a card you could get in a pack. This was a card that was pretty much part of an Illustrator art competition that you pretty much had to win to get, or if you didn't win the competition, you had to hope that somebody was willing to sell the card that they won in question. So this really is the holy grail at present time, if there is one, of Pokemon collectibles. I don't see that changing anytime soon, especially now since it sold, drumroll, for $16.4 million. And if you want to know who the buyer is, that was also revealed. And this again ties into why I have a major problem with this sale, with this type of sale format. Whenever somebody reveals that they paid a specific amount, especially if it's a record-breaking sum for an antique or collectible, you should be very cautious because there's a reason why they're doing that. Case in point, when we look at Kevin O'Leary, who paid $12.9 million for that Michael Jordan / Kobe Bryant dual logo man basketball card back in August of 2025. He recently announced a couple of weeks back that the card is worth somewhere around $20 million right now. Now, interestingly enough, from the information that I was able to receive on this, I don't recall there ever being a valid offer made for that card, and I also don't recall that card ever getting put up for auction. So making a statement that that card is now worth $20 million is shocking to me, because where are we getting that number from? Are we just pulling numbers out of thin air? Where is this information coming from? And this is really what irks me. When we look at items like this that represent the top 1/10 of 1% of a collectible market, a lot of the Timmies, Kimmies, and Poindexters think that means that the entire market is on fire and these prices are only going to go up from here. The problem is the market for a type of collectible like this, the Pokemon Illustrator card, or even the Michael Jordan / Kobe Bryant dual logo man card that was purchased by Kevin O'Leary. We are talking about the top 1/10 of 1% of the market. That market does not represent the entire collectible market as a whole. And this is something you need to understand. Now, to be fair, I want to do justice to the Pokemon collectors and investors out there. Right now, the entire Pokemon market is on fire. People are still lining up at stores to get the latest product releases. People are still trying to flip these items for insane sums on the secondary market the day after their release. So there is a lot of mania in this market, but I just want to set the record straight. For those of you that think this points to even more money coming into the Pokemon market, that would be dumb money. That would not be smart money, because we're already seeing prices at an all-time high price point. We're also seeing demand at an extremely high point as well. So when you have prices at an already high price point going higher, and you have demand already at an all-time high point, you're going to need an increase in both demand and prices for this to continue into the foreseeable future. I'm sorry to say, at some point, this market is due for a pullback. Whether it's a 10, 20%, 30% pullback, eventually it is going to happen. And a lot of the starry-eyed speculators, a lot of the Timmies, Kimmies, and Poindexters who are pretty much masquerading as investment bros, they are going to get hurt. If you watch Rudy with Alpha Investments, he talks about this. He's like me. I'm looking for a pullback in this market because I think it would be good to clear out all of that speculator money that is pretty much coming in and buying up new factory sealed product. I think that is going to prove to be a problem for a lot of the people that are hoarding a lot of these modern era Pokemon booster boxes and products, looking at the graph going, well, look, Sean, line only goes up. Well, when there's a significant pullback, you're going to see that markets just don't go up and down. They also go sideways as well. And a market can go sideways and stay there for many, many years, to the point where the opportunity cost of holding that item is going to eat you alive. This brings me to one of my favorite quotes. Markets can remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent. And that was said by Keynes, Keynesian economics. That is a core principle in that particular economic theory. And I am a Keynesian, make no mistake. Some of you hate me for that, but I am. Now, going back to this sale, this was more performance art / three-ring circus. Ken Golden did an excellent job promoting the sale. I want to give him credit in that regard. He really knew what he was doing behind the scenes, utilizing the show King of Collectibles, utilizing his own fame, his own popularity in this market to pretty much prop up the value of this item. What I didn't like was right from the get-go, when this sale started to stream live, AJ Scaramucci, who paid the $16.4 million for this card, was readily available, was right there announcing that he purchased this item. Once again, much like Kevin O'Leary, people who pretty much spend millions of dollars on one collectible, they usually don't want their identity known unless there is a purpose for revealing the fact that they purchased this item. Now, if you don't know who AJ Scaramucci is, his father is Anthony Scaramucci, who owns the investment firm, I think it's Bridgewater Capital, if I remember correctly. And as a result, he's most likely buying this, obviously, paying $16.4 million for this piece as an investment, because he did announce he also wants to acquire an original copy of the Declaration of Independence and, get this, an original T-Rex dinosaur fossil. Well, AJ, I think you're going to have easier luck storing the trading card and the Declaration of Independence than that of the T-Rex dinosaur fossil. So I would tell you pretty much it's best, just from my perspective as a fellow finance bro who does not have anywhere near the amount of money that you have, but I do have a 7-digit net worth nonetheless. I do think it's much better to buy items that can easily be third-party graded and fit into a safety deposit box for safekeeping if you're going to invest in these markets. So I think you're okay with the trading card. When you start to get into fossils, though, that's a completely different sophisticated market, sophisticated animal. There is a lot of demand for fossils, though. More on that in another upcoming video. But sticking to this, I do want to state that when we look at this one sale, yes, it does matter. Yes, it did make the history books, because up until this point, no other trading card ever sold for $16.4 million before. But you really have to take it as a grain of salt, given what is happening in this market at present time. I've said it once in this video, I'll say it again. Trading cards right now are the hottest market in the overall antiques and collectibles trade. Trading cards are beating out every other market at present time. It is insane. You guys that are speculating in these markets, you must use caution as a result. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I was trying to be kind in this video because honestly, sales like this rub me the wrong way. Again, what we're doing with social media right now is we're pretty much turning the antiques and collectibles trade into a popularity contest in the more of a performance art than that of an actual thing. There was a time, I remember it like it was yesterday, where people who entered these markets actually enjoyed these items and they just wanted to own them. They didn't want social media clout. They didn't want to become popular because they spent X millions of dollars on one item. There was a time where if you spent millions of dollars on a collectible, you wanted to be 100% private. You didn't want anybody to know your name. You didn't want anybody to come look for you. We've pretty much jumped shark. So here we are. Welcome to the new era. Welcome to the antiques and collectibles trade. Pokemon collectors, you're getting exactly what you wanted. And more often than not, you're also going to be getting what you soon deserve. Thanks for watching. Have a good night. If you are subscribed to this channel, I will see you in another upcoming video.